Hi guys, it's Sebastian here from Noble Frugal Studio, and today I'm bringing you guys a little animation process video which will teach you guys how to do the camera changing animation effect that I did in my latest animation, Coco versus Kimi. Now, it's actually very simple. I discovered this system while I was in the middle of animation. I had the project half done around a month ago, and then I picked it up last week, and I was able to discover some camera changing effects that I thought were very cool. So I'm going to scrub through this and I'm going to show you what you have to have before you start adding your in-between. So what you start off with, the perspective changing effect, is that you start off with however many keyframes you want. So in this video we're going to draw a couple. So here are my keyframes. At first we have this one, and then it zooms in very close, then zooms right back out. You have the panning over to Coco where she's defending against the explosions, and it zooms in on Coco's face. So playing these as an animation, we don't have any in-betweens, but these are the initial keyframes that you need to have down in order to make those in-betweens. And actually I'm drawing in, the reason that the background's black is because, well, it's a very dark gray, is because the colors don't show up so well when you have white. Like, I wanted a bright red, and I really like the way that this teal looks against it, so just to help me draw. But the good thing with OpenToonz is that if you have these colors, you can always change them later. This can change to a darker red, and I can change it to white after I'm done. Now, the way you change your background colors is go to Scene Settings, click the color background twice, it'll bring up a style editor, and you can change it to whatever you like. You can change it back to white, which I don't want to do. I'm going to change it to around a dark gray. So now, since we've got that out of the way, we can get started. I'm going to move my drawing tablet a little bit to the side so I can access the keyboard. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to draw the in-between between these two frames, where she's standing and where she gets really up and close, where she's doing her anticipation of something, of shooting lasers, and then as it pans over. So let me move this over a little bit, and there might be some time lapse in this video because I don't want you guys just to watch me draw. I begin to ramble when I draw, and maybe not everyone wants to watch me ramble as much as I find it entertaining. But let's see. We'll go right here. So we're on Kimi. Kimi's a little apple. Not really much thought going into the names. Just thought they sounded cool. So what we want to do is turn on our Onionskin by right-clicking, activate Onionskin, and we can set which frames you want to see. The horizontal timeline I'm still getting used to it, so we'll set the first one and that one after. And once we draw, since I have the auto creation, XG as auto creation, XG as something, what is it? Go file preferences. I believe it's drawing. Yeah, use XG as animation sheet. Once I draw, I'll create a frame. So I'm going to just draw, and then I'm going to erase it. So now we have some drawing. Now what you want to do with these frames, once you're starting to break it down, I like to go to the exact middle. So the middle size of this head and this head. It's going to be fairly big, so I'm going to do this, and that seems pretty good. So what I want to do is I usually select it after, and then I compare to see how small it is compared to this head, and then I compare to see how big it is compared to the other. So I think I want it to be a little bit smaller, actually, because that other head's really small. Maybe even smaller than that. Let's see, like this. Yes, is that how big I want it? So actually what I'm going to do is introduce an arc, which you guys learned about if you guys watched, if you guys studied the 12 principles of animation, is that when you're doing animation, people move in arcs. And in this sense, I'm not having the actual character move in an arc. I'm having the perspective and camera move in an arc. So what the arc that I'm going to make her move is like from here up in like an arc sort of like that. Which is going to end up looking very natural at the end. So we have that frame drawn, and I can just start drawing the likeness of Kimi. We see that she's doing a little bit of a wind up, so we also wanted the middle of her position and the middle of her action. So yes, I'm going to move the eye a little bit this way because, as you can see, I want it to be the middle. So there we go. And she might have a little indication of her mouth because in this one she does, but in the far back one she doesn't. I remember I was drawing one of my skulls I was drawing it on Twitter. If you guys want to see some daily sketches or sketches for most days, and definitely follow me on Twitter. I have tons of them to let out still. I was trying to draw a skull, and then it just sort of like, I was like, oh wait, and then I almost tried to hit Control Z on my sketchbook. So not good habits to fall into if you're an animator. When you're making a flapping cape, it can be difficult when you're doing perspective. So I recommend, I'm just roughing it in because I can work on that after. But if you're doing it, I definitely recommend looking up the wave principle and then adding the cape in after. Maybe even on a different frame if you're not as comfortable with it, so you can keep erasing. It's a really good principle. It's essential if you want to do any kind of animation that will look realistic and natural. I just want to make quality animations. I think that's just my dream, just to make quality animations that I enjoy and that other people enjoy. So that's what I want out of this, out of learning how to animate. Leave a comment on what you guys want to want out of learning how to animate. That'd be interesting. So now we can see if it actually follows the arc we want. I think that if it does like this, it should be fine. It just looks like it needs in-betweens, and this one actually needs to have a little stem on the top. And then, so what we can do now is go to the background. As you can see, I added a horizon on this one. I was going to on the other one, but the project was already finished, and I didn't want to go through adding something that I didn't use. That would be a little bit pointless. And we're actually going to use the in-betweens for the actual ground that I drew. So we can just draw the middle of it, because that's essentially what we were doing in the other one. So that's what the middle of the ground is going to look like. I rotated it using Control Space and Alt-0. We reset my view. I want to make this line a little more straight, so we can just rough that in. I would use the line tool, but I feel like it looks it doesn't look very organic. I like this more organic horizon look. So very high horizon, then it gets closer, and we can turn off the Onionskin to see how that looks. So she does lose a little bit of her form, and she doesn't look very the same in this one, which can be a little bit of an issue, because it will ruin the whole perspective trick if the character doesn't remain its likeness. So I have to work on making this look the same as the other drawings in order to make the whole perspective thing. I can't pull it off without that. So that's the kind of thing when I said about the wave principle. You kind of gotta pull everything off at one time to make it look believable. And that's kind of just what animation's about. It's based off of life, so you kind of gotta have all life's aspects playing at once, but except for kind of working backwards here, which is and it's an interesting skill to have, and a skill that I would love to acquire. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's pretty much it for this little animation tutorial video. I'll be coming out with this animation sometime in February, because I'm going to start doing an animation monthly. So if you guys are looking forward to that, then leave a like, leave a comment if you guys have any questions, and be sure to click the card to see some of my other awesome videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.